Good morning, everybody. You're probably sitting there wondering what we're going to do today. And of course, it's car work. All of the parts that I ordered in the last video, they should be here today, so we've got a bunch of suspension work to do. I figured out why my key is getting stuck in my ignition. It's because some wires, after like 25 years, they start to come out, and so we've got to do some wiring up in the front Prindle stick. We've got to do the window right here, and I want to stick another heated seat pad in my seat. So let's go ahead and start the day by charging up our batteries. God damn it. Now, the first thing that we're going to work on today is the heated seats. Winter is coming up, and having more heated seats will definitely be helpful. I purchased these back when I bought the car back in January, but I haven't gotten around to installing them yet. Let me show you what I'm thinking. So you guys will remember that I currently have one heated seat pad right here, and I have one at the feet. But I want to have one more like right here in the middle, so I've got three along my entire body while I'm sleeping. I'm actually fairly confident that this will be easy to do. All you've got to do is cut the zip ties that I put in here, pull the seat cover back, and then slide the new thing in. I'm also going to do a bunch of wiring, I guess. Okay, it won't be that hard. Wire cutters are fine. Okay, for this to work properly, I'm pretty sure I need to, I've already got a hole cut in the foam. I don't need to cut a new one. So we're just gonna slide this in right here and take the little sticky pads off. Now that we've got the thing stuck on and the wire put through, we can go ahead and put the fabric back over top of the foam. Now you're supposed to use these like metal rings to reattach this, but I found that zip ties work perfectly fine. Now that we've got this securely attached, we just need to wire this guy up to the main controller down there. Each one of the heated seat elements, they come with their own switch, but rather than having to switch each one on and off individually, I want them all to be connected to this main one right here. So I need to chop that one off, and I need to connect these wires to that switch. Holy shit, this wiring job is atrocious. I think I'm just gonna chop most of this stuff out and redo it. The first thing we've got to do is we've got to connect all of the wires together. Each one of these things has their own positive end and their own negative end, and we've got to connect both of these to the battery in the back. We are going to use a fancy new tool that I've got, a USB-C powered soldering iron. This is a soldering iron. Let me get this out of the box. You take it, you touch it to stuff, you melt stuff, but it's powered with USB Type-C, so I don't need to plug it into an inverter. I don't need to do anything. I just plug it in. Oh, look, I can turn it on and off. I've never actually used this before. This is only like 30 bucks on Amazon. I hope it works well. Turn it on. 260. Oh, I can go up to 420 degrees Celsius. That's hot. Okay, so you can see it going up 120 degrees, 130 degrees, 140 degrees. Okay, I'm confident that they are pretty well bound together. Then we just reconnect them the way they were before. It's exactly the same thing electrically as it was before, but this is much neater. Okay, all of the reds need to go together, all the blacks, all the yellows, all the whites. There we go. Now all of them have their individual pieces. We just connect these to the switch to be able to turn them on and off. There we go. Now this one switch should control all three of the heating elements under the seat. Okay, let's test it out. Oh, there's no power. Why not? Actually, it's possible I blew a fuse by trying to connect 3 of these rather than just the 2. Let me go check the fuse box. Yep, I blew a fuse. It looks like it takes more than 10 amps to make that run. Hopefully I can just pop a 15 amp fuse in there and everything will work. I'm glad we tested that though. I'm glad the fuse box works and it actually protects all of my shit. Now I guess let's just make sure that they all actually get hot. Okay, that's on. Okay, testing this one. Yep, that's hot. Yep, that's hot. Oh my God, yes, they all work. They are all heating up. Fantastic. There we go. My winters should be quite a bit more comfortable now. They do have temperature sensors in them to make sure that they're not on all the time. Whenever they get too hot, they'll turn themselves off. So they're not using all of that power 24/7. It's funny, you guys mocked me when I first bought this. You're like, oh, you spent $60 on a vacuum. That's way too much. I bet this is paid for itself in quarters I did not need to feed to the actual like car cleaning station. Next up, let's go ahead and bite the bullet. I'm not looking forward to it, but we're gonna take this part off and we're gonna take the window out. The door is held into the metal with this big screw, and then the rest of the panel is held in with plastic pieces. Before you go janking it off, you've got to pull off the window thing and you've got to pull out the speaker wire. Let me remember how to do this. Now we actually need to reattach this guy because we need to roll the window up to actually I think there's 2 specific points. So we can access a bolt here, and so we can access a bolt I think here. That way we can take the window out. Okay, so we've got one bolt right there. Where's the other bolt at? Remove the foam piece. God damn, that's loud. Oh. Okay, yeah, so we've got one bolt right there and one bolt right there. Let me see what's actually happening here. Yeah, I'm not sure. The bolts are tight. I'm not sure why it's not... Maybe I just need to grease the side so that it doesn't stick. That's actually possible. What I suspect is happening is that there's just a bunch of friction on this side right here. So I'm gonna add some grease to this side. I'm gonna roll this down and back up and see if I can get that grease up in there. And just like that, the window seems to be fixed. Just reducing the friction fixed it. That's cool. However, I do still want to pull the window out just so that I can put the tint on properly, because you can see that it's peeling up everywhere. I'm just going to pull this whole thing off and apply it the right way. Come here. When you're doing this, you want to be careful so that you don't accidentally crack your window. That would be not fun. Okay, this is the window. I'm going to try not to crack it. Oh, you're slipping. Okay, come on. Okay, so we need to peel this old stuff off. We need to clean it up. This is a razor blade stuck inside of like a little handle, so you can easily get up on there on the glass. If we're really lucky, we can get this to pull itself completely free without leaving all of this yucky residue behind, because the window needs to be completely flat for the new tint to work. It looks like it's coming off pretty clean, which is good. Now we'll just take the razor blade to this and clean off all of the residue. Like you can see, there's still like a bunch of residue that we've got to clean off. Now, when you're tinting a window, you don't normally take the entire window out to be able to do this. Normally you can do it on the car, but we'll get a much better job if we take the entire window out and we tint the entire thing than we would if we were to try to do this while it was still in the body. This will end up being a much better tint. Okay, I was wrong. The entire window has residue on it still. We're gonna have to scrape the entire thing. Tinting a window isn't hard. Preparing the window to be tinted is the hard part. It does help if you get it wet because the adhesive stops sticking to itself, so it doesn't smear as much. It'll just come up. You will know when it is completely clean based on the sound of the razor blade. Listen to this. You can't hear anything. There you go. You can hear it's a little bit more rough. Use sound to figure out where the stuff is. Now that we've got the old residue off, we can start applying the new tint. I bought this many, many months ago before I knew that the rest of the windows were tinted, so we only need to use a small fraction of this. I got this thinking I would be using it for the whole car. In order to get this actually into the right position, we need to get the window wet with soapy water. So we're gonna come over to the hose spigot over here, we're gonna get this wet, and then we're gonna drench this on top of the window. This is gonna be our source of water while we work. Get it nice and wet. And the actual vinyl itself is basically just a big sticker. So you take the back of the sticker off. This side of the tint right there is the sticky part. So that's the part you want touching the window. When you're peeling it back, you want to continually apply water so that it doesn't end up sticking to itself. You guys know how if you accidentally have tape touch itself, it ends up trying to be a bitch to pull it apart. This is very sticky and it loves sticking to itself. So you want to constantly be applying water so that it doesn't stick to itself while you're unraveling the sticker. Now this is gonna sound counterintuitive, but we actually need to lift this back up and we need to put water underneath it because there's a lot of air bubbles here and the air bubbles won't come out unless it's like slick and easy for them to move. So we need to get the entire bottom of the sticker wet. I don't own a spray bottle. Now we just squeegee the air bubbles out. Oh. Don't go too fast, otherwise you'll end up pinching part of the film. And there we go. At this point, most of the hard work is done. We've just got to clean up the edges a little bit and cut off the excess. Now I'm going to very carefully start cutting around the edge of the window. Then we're going to take the knife over the edge just a little bit to make sure that there's not any like flare of the plastic so that I can't accidentally peel up. We just need to pull a little bit off the edge. Now, I've learned this from personal experience. It is very important to be careful about the top corner right here because every time you roll your window up, this is going to start getting like jammed into the plastic there, and you don't want this peeling up. So we're going to let this sit for a little bit, make sure that the adhesive has time to actually get it to stick to the window, because I do not want this peeling back. I want to super stress this. You want to make absolutely sure there is no way for you to peel the sticker up, because every time you roll up your window, this is going to be trying to peel your sticker up. You need to make sure that this is either cut off or completely adhered. I'm just going to cut this. Then we just go put it back in the car. This is the hard part, getting it to actually fit inside all of the things properly. Yeah, see, it's having trouble because I didn't align everything properly. I think I got it. Then we just throw the door back on and everything's good. There we go. Now the entire window is tinted. And it rolls up and down. I just got the notification the car parts have been delivered, which means we get to get out of the car and we get to go do the suspension. Let's go grab these car parts. $400 worth of car parts. Oh, damn it, my battery's dead. We can fix that pretty easily. I could jump start the car. That's a thing that I am capable of doing. Or I can just come here and push reverse charge and use this big battery here to charge the battery in the back. There we go. Do you hear that beeping? That's it. Taking power from this and putting it in the front battery. Perfect. Let's go get our components. These are gonna be some big boxes, I'm sure. And this is going in the back seat. Not gonna lie, I see why shipping cost 60 bucks to get these here. Oh. I'm honestly not sure if this park is even going to let me work on my car here. Working inside my car on like the electrical stuff is fine. Working outside my car might be less fine. We'll see, we'll see. Whatever happens, happens. If somebody asks us to leave, I'll try to like throw my wheel back on and bounce. Okay, I'm backing up into this because I want to be in the shade while we're taking the tire off. One of the first things I want to do is I want to repaint my rims. You guys will see that all of the paint, whoever did this before, they didn't do a very good job and all of the paint is flaking off, so it looks just not that great. I want to repaint the rim, pull this off, replace the brakes, and then replace the strut tower in the back. I am honestly not sure if I will even be able to get these lug nuts off because every time Walmart rebalances my tires, they put these things on like they fucking super glue them there. I think these are 15s. Nope, too big. Let's try 19s. Oh, yep, perfect. There we go, 19s. Yeah, they are not coming off. I'm pretty sure I have a breaker bar in here somewhere. No, actually, the other day I found out that I had a problem. This needs airflow to be able to like move the heat around, otherwise it gets really hot. I accidentally closed it off back here. I wasn't able to get, this part got so fucking hot. So now I'm keeping my, my syrup right here just to make sure that there's airflow. Let's go jack the car up now. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this wheel off. So we're gonna be replacing this, which is the rotor. We're gonna be replacing the brake pads and this thing right here, which is the strut assembly. You can see it's falling apart. But before we do that, we are actually gonna clean up this wheel, spray paint it, make it look all nice and good because this just looks nasty. We're gonna have to do the same procedure for all of the tires on the car. Yeah, these are definitely not the stock rim that comes with this car. Whoever got this, they went and they put money into this rim, and then they went and they did a shitty job painting it. So the whole thing is just coming apart now. Then again, these are probably like 25 years old. Maybe all paint jobs fail after 25 years. Now, I could give a shit about preserving this Pontiac emblem and I could tape over it with like masking tape or whatever. I don't care. I'm just gonna paint the whole thing. They're gonna be solid black. Now, while that dries off, let me show you the products that we're gonna be using. It's actually super easy. You don't need to do a whole lot. You basically just need a glossy black and clear coat, and then some kind of tire cleaner. The thing is, you don't wanna get any of this stuff on the tire itself because that would not be good. So we're going to put some kind of protective barrier around this. I actually learned this on YouTube from a guy named Chris Fix. We are going to use index cards, the kind you would find at like any stationary office store. What you do is you take the index card and you put it in the edge of the rim like this, and you go around the tire so that you've got the index cards protecting the actual rubber. I want it to look something like this, where you've got all of the index cards wrapped around so that when you start spray painting, you're not gonna get any on the tire itself. You wanna make sure that you even coats in all different angles. You can see that there's lots of different angles where this thing looks. Light coats are better than thick coats. We're gonna walk all the way around it to make sure we're getting all different angles. Once this dries, we will throw a layer of clear coat on, which will make this look all shiny and wet all the time. Because once this dries, it will look actually not that different from the color of the tire. This is what's gonna make it look shiny all the time. While we wait for that to dry, we can start working on the caliper. We've got to get this caliper off so we can pull the rotor out. You know what's weird to me? I could not get my bike brakes to stop squeaking. Why don't cars have that same problem? Like, I can get grease, I can get all kinds of stuff on my bike brakes, or on my car brakes, and they never squeak like that. God damn, am I twisting this the right way? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. I want to twist it. Yeah, I'm twisting it the right way. God, these bolts are fucking on tight. This is another one of the downsides of working on a car that's 25 years old. All of the bolts are fucking rusted together. And I can't get good leverage to actually put my body weight into this thing. Oh, okay, there we go. I got one. I think I'm hitting up against the brake line, yeah, and I definitely don't want to break that. I was able to get it. Interestingly, you'll see that there's two things going into the caliper right here. You've got this, which is brake fluid. This is like your main brakes when you push on the brake pedal. But you'll also see this thing right here. You see how there's a string coming to it? It comes to the bottom right here. This is your emergency brake. This is that thing that on some cars you pull up, on other cars it's by your foot right here. This is really similar to the brakes on a bike. It's just pulled together. This, you use your emergency brake if this thing fails. So you've basically got two ways to engage your brakes. It's down right here, and I think the brake caliper should just come off. Now you need to be really careful not to let this dangle, otherwise the brake line could actually break, so we need to suspend this. Do I have a... That'll do for now. Okay, actually, first thing I noticed, my brakes are a little sideways. My brakes are not being applied, so like this is brand new. This part's the part that's actually braking. Yeah, my brakes are not being applied to the same depth every time. That's interesting. This one's fine, this one's not. This one doesn't have a problem. Okay, let me think. Okay, let me think. What do I need to get off? So 1 bolt, 2 bolts, 3 bolts, and then all of the bolts up top. I'm pretty sure this stuff is dry now, so we can hit it with the clear coat. Again, you want to hit all different angles. I also want to get the lug nuts too, because if you look on the outsides of these things look not very good. So I'm just gonna paint these guys too. I'm not gonna do as much effort with the lug nuts. They just need to be like vaguely black. Okay, how am I gonna get these big bolts off? So even if I do have a lug nut that's big enough, they're not long enough to reach back there. Oh, I take that back. I do have a lug nut that's long enough. I don't see this going very well. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? I broke my socket. You can see it's got cracks in there. So now basically anytime I do a really hard turn, rather than actually twisting the metal, it just expands that like a spring. But I do believe the paint on this guy is dry, so take our little index cards off. Now this stuff right here is entirely superficial. It's just a tire shine to make your tire look like wet. It literally does nothing, and it's just to make your car look cooler. I know that this will look better on video, so I'm doing this because first you want to clean it. And then you see how this is like wet and black? That will make it look like that permanently rather than the white, not black part. I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna head to the auto parts store and get another one of these bits. Hopefully one that's a little bit longer, but what is this, 7/8? Yeah. Okay, I picked up another one of these guys from the fucking store. $17 for a fucking socket. Ridiculous. Tools are so expensive. I was silly thinking I would immediately have all of the tools I need to do the job. Of course I would have to go to the auto store. No, there's a company in Macedonia. Do you guys know how in America we have like AutoZone and O'Reilly's and Napa Auto Parts and all of these different like part stores? Well, apparently there's a store in Macedonia and they want to sponsor one of my videos. And by sponsor one of my videos, I mean they want to buy me a car and have me fix it up, but the only store that I'm allowed to purchase parts from would be their store. So I would just like completely rebuild the car using, I can't even pronounce their store's name, which might be a problem with the sponsorship. But no, they want to buy me a car. So if I go back to Europe, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go to Macedonia, spend a couple months there, rebuilding a car, and then go drive around Europe. Every time I think about Macedonia, I'm reminded that Greece can go fuck itself. Now I think we got to hammer these bolts out. I legitimately don't know how I'm going to get these bolts out without a fucking jackhammer. And I do not have I have a big stick. Well, while I think of a way to get these bolts out, Let's go back to the tire over here. Oh, it looks so much better. Shake this up, and then you just spray around the rim. It's pretty easy. It's not hazardous to the paint, we just want to wash it off after this. There we go. Now once that dries, it should keep that same shiny color. It's a good thing this is grass and it'll be cut down in like a couple of weeks. Yeah, this won't be here in a few days. Good. I did not think about that. I will put something down to stop it from painting on the grass going forward. Okay, so one wheel is painted, clear coated, tire's been treated. I'm still trying to figure out how to get these massive bolts out of here. They are welded in place with rust. Look at that though. Doesn't that look great? Oh, that looks great. One trick you can do, you can take the bolt and you can put it on sideways like this and screw it on towards completely flat. Now we've got a much larger surface area to hit. I'm also just now realizing I don't have a spring compressor to be able to compress the new one when I get it in. I might need to go back to the auto parts store. I don't want to buy a spring compressor though, because I know I will never actually use it again. Okay, I am getting the bolt out a little bit. Okay, I got both of the bolts out, which means the knuckle should be detached from this at least. The only thing holding this in should be the bolts at the top right there, which I'm just now realizing are not going to be easy to get to. Okay, they're actually not that hard to get to. I think that I am at a stage where I can get the new piece ready. I really hope that this is a quick strut so that I don't need to compress any springs. I hope I can just pop it in place. Okay, it fell and my brake arm, or my brake caliper did not break off. Okay, cool. Okay, now we just take the old part out. Hopefully it comes off easily. There we go, not too bad. And we hope that the new part fits right in. That would be so good if it just did. It says FCS Auto, so I hope that means that it's already compressed. It looks like it is. Oh, it also looks much nicer than the original. Oh, it's much more compressed. Look at that. Cool. I hope that means that they'll still fit together, because you kind of want them to look the same, but whatever. Update, I was using the wrong ones. The ones that I had over there are for the front, these ones are for the back, and you can see that they are the same length. So yes, it's always good to install the right part. And yeah, you want to make sure that they look the same. And then we just put this right back in where we found the other one. Damn it, I picked the wrong part again. You can see it says left there. The screws don't line up. Yeah, so apparently they use different hole patterns for these things to make sure that you don't accidentally put the wrong one on the wrong side. I'm not sure why individual sides matter, but apparently they do. Doesn't that look good? I almost certainly will need a new alignment after this. Now, getting this to actually fit properly inside that hole, you can see that like no matter how much I push it, I'm not able to get it to fit. There is a trick, and the trick is to use your jack stand, because this can create a lot of force. And you can see that it's basically perfect now. Actually, I've got a drill. Now we actually get to change the brakes and the brake rotor. Now brakes and brake rotors, they don't have a front, back, left, or right, so I can grab any of them from this box and they all should work properly. I'm not gonna accidentally put the wrong part in. Now I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that these things have like a oil on them that oh fuck, I just pinched my fucking finger, damn. They have like an oil on them, so we're just gonna come and use a degreaser on it. Engine degreaser, brake clean, probably the same thing. Hindsight, not the same thing. It should still get the job done though. I'm not that worried. Yeah, this job takes longer than I thought it did. Okay, take back what I said about there not being a difference between front and back, because those ones are way bigger. Look at this, look at this. So this is the one that came from the back. This is the one that came in that box. So hopefully the ones in this box are smaller and they fit. Yes, here we go. Okay, so these are for the front. These ones are for the back. Now I'm pretty sure all of the rotors are the same, but I'm just gonna check just to be sure. I did consider repainting the calipers too, making them red, but honestly, you probably won't be able to see them through the rim that I have, so it's not worth the extra effort. Now, I just need to hope I can get my caliper on without needing some kind of like special caliper compressor. Haha, I got it. Dope. And just like that, one of 4 wheels is done. Last thing to do is throw the wheel on. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what all 4 of the wheels are going to look like soon. Now, doing this almost certainly will throw my alignment off, so I can't go on any long drives until I've got my alignment done. Otherwise, I could end up really fucking up my tires. But tomorrow is honestly gonna suck because I've got to do all of that 3 times. I'm probably not gonna turn it into a full video just because it'll get repetitive. So that will be the members only once a month vlog. I'm really trying to stick to that. Once a month, they get 1 special vlog. I do need to charge my drill battery. Oh, one thing I definitely did forget to do is the wiring inside my car. You guys remember how my key gets stuck in the ignition sometimes? I didn't fix that today. I'll have to do that tomorrow or some other time. God, I'm exhausted. My car is fucking full of boxes. Up until I get this job done, my car is gonna be so full of tools and equipment and... I was able to move all of this stuff up to the front and in the side, so I should be able to sleep right here tonight. Yep, this is definitely uncomfortable. There's not even enough room for me to put my shoes on the floor. Hug. Luckily, I'm doing this now rather than when I need to, like somewhere down in Ohio or something, and having to do this on the road. So at least I'm doing this in a controlled environment.